Hello, and welcome to Kickin' Cooking in Quarantine. My name is Mary Bear Shannon. I'm a reference librarian at the Haverford Township Free Library. I am coming to you live from my kitchen here in Havertown on this really terrible weather day. It is pretty gross outside. It makes me want to curl up with a good book and some good cooking. So hopefully we'll be able to do that today. Again, my name is Mary Bear Shannon. I am a reference librarian at the Haverford Township Free Library, and this is Kickin' Cooking in Quarantine. This is a Facebook Live show. We come to you on Mondays. Coming in March, it'll be the second Monday of each month. And we share recipes about different themes, different things from our family's recipe boxes. And I've shared a lot on this program. Today I'm going to share another family recipe. My conundrum today is I had a big ham spiral cut ham last night. We got it, of course, on sale. And so we cooked it last night, but of course I have a ton of ham left. So what do I do with it? So I'm scratching my head and trying to figure out what to do with it all, because I don't want it to go bad. I do love ham, and I hope you guys do too, because all of my recipes today are going to be using that leftover ham. And I'd love to hear what you do with your leftover ham. Many of us celebrate Easter with a ham and other celebrations with a big ham in the oven. So I'd love to hear in the comments what you use with your ham. Today, I'm actually going to show two recipes that I use very often with my leftover ham. One is split pea soup with ham, which is one of my favorites. And of course, it's super rainy and snowy and cold outside. So some soup sounds really good to me. And then another recipe that you may have never heard of before. It is from my stepdad. It's called Hot Betty Brown. I really love the name. And it's one of those things that, we've had pretty much the entire time I've known him. I asked him today, where did this recipe come from? This is Hot Betty Brown. And he says, I don't know. I've just been cooking it forever. He doesn't remember. He's a retired pastor, and he thought, I was wondering if maybe somebody from one of his parishioners had made it for him. He says, it's at least 50 years old. He's 88, so he's been around a while. But this is one of his favorites, and he makes it. He's made it for my family, and it's it's just a crowd pleaser, and it's a way to use up your leftover ham. So anyway. It's good to see you, Liz. She says it's Margarita Day. I am toasting you at present at my program. Well, thank you very much. I will live vicariously through you, Liz, and hope you have a good margarita. Now, of course, I want one, but maybe I should stay a little clear-headed for the program. Again, we are just talking about what we do with our leftover ham. I got one in the we got one on sale, and so we cooked it last night, and it was delicious. But now I have a ham hock, and I have a ton of ham. So I'm going to show you some recipes. Again, split pea soup with ham, and then a really old family favorite called Hot Betty Brown. So let's get to it. So I'm going to take you over to my kitchen. I'm going to show you some of the recipes and how I make it. So here we go. Okay. So here we are, and I wanted to show you all my new, it's hard to see, but my new apron. My mother made this for me. She says, I'm tired of seeing the ones I've made for you, week after week, so she made me a new one. So thank you, Mom, and I love it. It's got butterflies on it, and it's lovely. It's kind of got a batik thing I'll kind of show here. That's my new apron, so thanks, Mom. Oh, okay, so I'm going to start with this soup, because it takes a little while to get the vegetables cooked. So we're going to start that. So I am going to point my camera down here. This is for split pea and ham. This is just a Dutch oven. This is my favorite Dutch oven that I use all the time. My husband has another one that's a cast iron. This is cast iron too, but this is enameled. I like this one better, maybe because it's prettier. but he likes his black cast iron. They both work really well, so either one would be good. So I'm just melting about a quarter cup of butter in this Dutch oven, and then what I'm going to add is about this is 2 cups of chopped onion. I'm going to stick that in there. I was doing a lot of crying earlier because I cooked a lot. I was chopping a lot of onions. This is a cup of chopped celery. And this is a cup of diced onion, or excuse me, carrot. So, and this just kind of lots of recipes, lots of soups start this way. Lots of a lot of people who make tomato or like spaghetti sauce start with this base to their sauce, to their soups. And we're just gonna melt this away, and it's gonna start cooking. We're gonna cook this down about 5 minutes. After that, we're gonna add a couple of different things. It wants me to salt and pepper this at this point. The ham is so salty. I am actually going to hold off on the salt for a little bit just to kind of see how it tastes. It may be too salty. But I am going to do just a little bit of ground pepper. And while this cooks for about 5 minutes, it's going to cook down and get all of these vegetables kind of tender. Again, I am starting a split pea and ham soup. We're trying to figure out what to do with Mary's leftover ham. She had it. She had a really nice big ham yesterday, and now she has a ton of leftover. So she is making some soup, which is very appropriate because it is disgusting outside. It was snowing earlier, and now it is raining, and it just makes me want to curl up and crawl under the covers because I just hate this. I just assume just snow. Please don't rain and it be like 35. That's like my least favorite weather. Okay, so this is going to cook a little bit. And while we do that, I'm going to show you how to make this hot Betty Brown. So I'm going to put my camera down this way. This is a very easy recipe. You basically just dump a bunch of stuff in and then stick it in a casserole. You do have to cook it for quite a while because it does have eggs in it and you want it to set up. And my stepdad said to me before I went on air, he said, make sure that people don't undercook this. So it will take about an hour and 20 minutes. I am actually doubling this recipe, so this may take me a little longer. It's just to make sure that, you know, the center sets up because it does have eggs. Again, I'm just going to keep stirring this mixture of vegetables and butter here. This is for my soup. This is split pea and ham soup. But while we're kind of letting that cook, we're going to put together this hot Betty Brown. Don't ask me where the name came from. It's just been in my family forever, and nobody knows where it came from, but it is quite good. Okay, so we're going to start with some crushed cracker crumbs. Now, this recipe also calls for cornflakes, but my stepdad said he really likes the cracker crumbs, so I just crushed up. It's because I'm doubling this. This is about a cup of cracker crumbs. The next thing you put in is some cheddar cheese, and this is about, because I'm doubling this, this is about a cup of cheddar cheese, maybe a little bit more because I like cheese, as you can tell. And then it's this is about 2 cups of diced ham. This is again from this ham that I had last night, and that's about 2 cups. The next thing we are going to put in here is basically 2 onions. I think this is probably about a cup and a half. You know, if you really like onions, you could put more in. This is about what I had because I also had to put onions into the soup. So I basically cut up every onion I have in my house. But it's about 2 onions chopped. And then the next thing is 2 cups of milk. And I think this could be pretty much anything. It could be skim. It could be 2%. I mean, if you really liked it creamy, you do whole, or you could do half and half. I'm just using what I have, which is skim. So we're doing 2 cups of milk. And again, we're just assembling this hot Betty Brown, which is helping me to use my my leftover ham from a big ham I had yesterday. Everybody was home and it was great to see everybody, and I wanted to have something kind of special, so I pulled out the ham. The next thing is cream of mushroom soup. So, you know, really the basis of so many casseroles, especially, you know, some of the old-timey ones, is these cream of soups, either cream of mushroom, cream of chicken, cream of celery. This calls for cream of mushroom, and because I'm doubling this, I am putting 2 in here. So, again, we are just assembling this hot Betty Brown, which is using up some of my leftover ham, and I'm also getting ready to put together this. I'm making this split pea and ham soup here on the side, so we're just softening up the onions, the carrots, the celery, and a little bit of butter. Okay, the last ingredient that you want for this casserole for hot Betty Brown is beaten eggs. And this is 6 beaten eggs. If you're just going to do a single recipe, you would just use 3. Again, I will put this on and post this on the live recording, and you can copy this down if you're interested in this recipe. But you can't ask me, other than from my family, you can't ask me where it came from because I can't tell you. So this is just, now you're just going to mix this up. And then this is going to go into a casserole dish. Now, you can put this, I would say because you double it, you probably want it to be in a fairly sizable casserole dish. I'm actually going to put it in kind of a rectangular 9 by 13 pan. I'm actually hoping that will mean it'll cook a little faster. If you were going to use one of the, you know, more cylindrical casserole dishes, it might take a little longer because it's deeper, but I am going to actually put it in a kind of a long, shallow rectangular pan. Okay, so this is pretty much all stirred up. Again, this is cracker crumbs, cheddar cheese, ground ham, some chopped onion, some milk, some cans of cream of mushroom soup, and some beaten eggs. So that is all put together. Now, so this is the pan I'm going to use, this glass pan. I actually greased it. I'm not exactly sure if my stepdad does that, but I wanted to make sure that every bit of the goodness would come out. So again, I'm just going to kind of pour this into my casserole dish. And again, this is going to cook for quite a long time at 350. So I'm going to get this in there because I don't want to eat at 8 o'clock tonight. I have another book group that I need to lead for the library. Our Hooked on History book group is tonight. So I can't wait forever for our dinner to come out. So now I'm going to stick this in my oven for about an hour and 15 minutes. Now, I would say check it at an hour and 15 minutes at 350. Just keep checking the center. You probably want to, you know, put in a knife to see if it's coming out clean, to make sure that it is set in the middle, because there are eggs in it. Okay, so that is now cooking away, and I'm going to put away some of my dirty dishes here. And we're going to go back to our soup. So here we are cooking away. This is actually looking really good. We are cooking our carrots. I'm going to turn this down so we don't burn it. Our carrots, our celery, and our onion. We're actually doing pretty good here. I am going to turn this down because the next thing I'm going to put in here is some garlic, and I definitely do not want to burn my garlic. I probably sound like a broken record. but you know what happens when you burn garlic? It gets very bitter. So we're just going to put this in and let it saute for just about a minute. And then I am going to add some of the other things that we need into this. So this is just 2 garlic cloves. I've got it minced, and that's going to go in. And we are just going to cook this for about a minute before we put in some other things. It does help because there are other things that have liquid in this pot. You don't ever want to put garlic into a hot, blazing, like oil pan without anything in it, because it will burn and it will totally change the flavor of your garlic. Okay, so the next thing is we want to put in our ham bone. Again, I said I had a really big ham, and I cut away all of the meat, and basically this is the center bone. And I'm just going to stick this in here. We're going to stick in a bunch of liquid, and it's going to cook for a while. So we've got the ham bone, 1 large bay leaf, and some fresh thyme. Now, I'll have to tell you, my thyme plant is taking a little nap. I have been cutting on it. I've been cutting on it for most of the fall, and it really needs a rest. So I had to use dry. But again, I have been using and enjoying my fresh thyme plant for months and months and months, even into the fall and the cold winter. And the last time I used it, I think it just said, "Uncle, no more. You can't snip from me again until the spring." So I am using my dried thyme. Okay, so we've got a bay leaf, some thyme, and now we're going to stir in the liquid. So this calls for 8 cups of liquid, and I'm going to put 4 cups of chicken stock. Now this calls for 6 cups. I didn't have 6 cups, so, and 2 cups of water, but again, I didn't have more than 4 cups of chicken stock, so I'm going to do 4 cups of chicken stock and 4 cups of water. And I think it's perfectly fine. The ham bone is super flavorful. I think it's perfectly fine to do 4 cups of water as well. So we are going to pour that in here. And this is going to cook the ham bone away for over an hour, 60 to 90 minutes. You want to get all the yummy goodness out of this ham bone, and it's going to mix with the vegetables and the star attraction, which is our split peas. So now, what you may be saying, if you've never done this before, where do I get split peas? Super easy, grocery store. It's in with the beans. So if you want to buy lentils or navy beans or anything, they're in the bean section. The nice thing about split peas as well as lentils is that they do not need to be soaked dry like navy beans. You have to soak them overnight, and who's got time for that? I always think about making navy bean soup the day of, and then of course it says I have to soak them. The nice thing about peas and lentils is that you do not have to soak them. Now, again, we're going to cook this for about an hour, so it definitely needs some cooking, but it does not need the soaking, so that's good. All right, let's make sure I have everything in here. I have, we began with our vegetables, our onions and celery and carrots, along with some butter. We put in some pepper. But we're going to wait to season it with salt to see how salty it is with the ham. It has 2 cloves of garlic minced, a pound of dried split peas, and a meaty ham bone. We have one of those, along with the thyme. It called for fresh thyme, but all I had was dry, and 1 big bay leaf. So, and then along with I used 4 cups of chicken stock and 4 cups of water. This recipe called for 6 cups of chicken stock. I did not have it. So We just did 4 and 4. All right, so we are going to cover this, and we're going to stir it occasionally for 60 to 90 minutes. So we're going to put this on, and again, we are going to stir it. And I wanted to see if there was anything else I should tell you about the split pea. Eventually, when it's done, we are going to add some ham, some chopped ham. So again, I can use more of my ham, and then you're really gonna put that in like 15 minutes before the end of your cooking, and then eventually you're going to remove the ham hock. It's going to be, there's going to be nothing left on it except for the bone, but all that great marrow is going to come out, and it's going to be just a really flavorful soup. Split pea soup, I mean, some people love it, some people don't. I tend to love it. The other great thing is it's got a lot of fiber, it's got a lot of protein, it's got vitamins A and B and magnesium, so it's good for you too. And most of the ham I'm going to put in is fairly trimmed, so it's a fairly low-fat soup, except for the little butter at the beginning. So again, I just think it's a very satisfying soup for a cold winter day. So anyway, those are my 2 recipes. I will post them on this recording for hot Betty Brown, as well as split pea soup. So I'm so glad that you could join us today for Kickin' Cooking in Quarantine. Again, my name is Mary Bear Shannon. I'm a reference librarian at the Haverford Township Free Library, and I hope you have a great day.